Entering Glizzy Overdrive.
I don't know what happened there. I haven't looked into it.
But that's the problem, isn't it?
That's not him defending Chris. He's saying, I haven't looked into it. I'm not aware. If only you could do the same fucking thing, Keffals. We don't know if whether or not Ethan is exploiting Chinese children in sweatshops, but we do know Vaush has fucking lolicon saved on his computer. The VTuber is usually drawn as a lolly. Vaush, that is literally like, that is how they present themselves. Yeah, it's disgusting. Why did Vaush save it onto his computer? Listen to how Vaush snakes around addressing what actually happened.
I don't think he's lying when he said he didn't know those images were lolly.
Do you even know what the images are? Have you seen the images? You don't think he's lying. Have you seen it? Hey, what's up, guys? I figured, you know, I saw Keffals' new fucking video in my feed, and I figured why not do a reaction video for my second channel. I've been wanting to comment on this Vaush stuff for a while, and I figured why not do some fucking sloppy, you know, gameplay in the background reacting to Keffals' new video. Full disclosure, I already watched and reacted to this, but the audio was so fucked, so I'm gonna redo it because I really want to comment on this. I think this video was pretty fucking bad, because it just deflected a lot. It deflected a shit ton off of Vaush and like projected everything onto other people and just like did a whole bunch of whataboutisms. It's a very fucking annoying video. Keffals has had some pretty fucking atrocious takes on this fucking Vaush shit. Because she is just mindlessly taking Vaush's word for it without thinking critically about anything that he's fucking done. She's eager to defend him, but not eager to actually understand what the fuck were the images and why are people getting upset at the images. She'll get into that in this video, and I'll respond to it and I'll point out why it's fucking stupid. But generally speaking, my stance on this situation is I don't think there's enough to say for certain if Vaush is a pedophile. You know, I'm doing this like autistic court sort of perspective. Could you convict Vaush of like pedophilia in a court? There's still maybe some lingering plausible deniability. We would really have to know what the rest of what was in that folder, but the fact that those were his recently saved images doesn't fucking help him. That two of his recently saved images were fucking lolicon, and they were pretty much like side by side one another, so it doesn't look fucking good. I've seen the images myself. I haven't seen every single image, but I've seen some of the ones, especially the lolly ones. I've seen heavily blurred versions of those, and there's no mistake whatsoever. Those were kids in those pictures. I will describe, not in detail, but I will describe. It's essentially the person in the in one of the pictures was half the dude's size. She had medium body fat. She had small boobs, and she had a childlike face. And what I mean by that is that she had a big head, big eyes, small nose, and a small mouth and a small neck. And these are childlike features. These aren't petite features. These are childlike features. You know, I don't expect everyone to be hyper analytical of like all the pornography that they're watching, but to fucking just like, it is so hard to miss these details. It is like, this person is clearly a fucking child, and it surely doesn't help that the person being depicted in that is literally like a VTuber, and their VTuber model is 16 years old. It looks fucking awful for Vaush. He very well might be a pedophile, but I would need a little bit more evidence personally for me to come to that conclusion. I do think Vaush undoubtedly is a zoophile because there is tons of fucking horse porn in that shit. And I'm not okay with, like I said in my feral video, I'm not okay with consenting, I'm not okay with, fetishizing beings who cannot consent. And that includes animals. I'm not okay with, fetishizing those beings. I think that's disgusting and fucking repugnant. If it was furry porn, I'm pretty sure Vaush said that there is like furry porn in there of like some Legend of Zelda character who looks like an adult. I don't care about that. I don't think you're a zoophile for doing that. You can watch my feral video on my main channel. Furries have to cancel feral art. You could go watch that video to give more. I'm not gonna like explain it. I'm not gonna, you know, try to hold this video. The last recording was like an hour long, and I'm not trying to fucking do an hour long. reaction. All right, but I'm just basically giving like I'm disclosing my biases already. Like I have seen the images. I think Vaush is a fucking sick, fucking disgusting freak, and we're gonna watch Keffals literally deflect from all of that, and we're gonna fucking call her out on it because I think this shit's fucking stupid. And Tipster's not innocent either. He's willfully taken part in just being neglectful, and it's honestly just fucking poor journalism on their fucking end. Like it's extraordinarily poor journalism on their end because they're willing to defend a dude and you don't even know what you're defending. You don't even know. It's ridiculous. Anyways, we'll get into that. But this is Keffals' fucking glazing video of Vaush.
Yahoo! Hello, everyone. As I'm sure you're all aware, this has been quite a chaotic week for me. The situation has taken up a lot more time than I would have liked it to, as I've been trying to dedicate more time to working on my new channel, Scared Awake. While I would love to be researching and writing on spooky topics completely unrelated to internet drama, unfortunately I got to address this one, because Ethan Klein and ContraPoints both put me on blast. Now there's a lot of context behind this entire situation, which I'll try to briefly summarize. But if you want the full context, watch the last video on my live channel, as well as the most recent VOD. I'll put the links in the description, and I'm also going to wager that this video...
She's gonna defend the hell out of Vaush in this shit, but then she's gonna act like this has nothing to do... I dodged that like a fucking god, by the way. She's gonna act like this has nothing to do with, because she says like, oh, I've been slandered by Ethan Klein and ContraPoints. Yeah, but what about actually addressing what the fuck Vaush is being criticized of? Like she literally like hand waves everything. It's like so ridiculous.
Particular is going to see a lot of viewership outside of my own audience.
So I mean, this pretty much like shows that she's not concerned with actually looking into the images, like not even looking into images. She's not even remotely interested in actually understanding why people are upset at Vaush. She's not even remotely interested in that. She's more interested in defending herself against Ethan, which she has every right to, and ContraPoints, which she has every right to. But the fact that this is like Vaush and the hypocrisy, don't even put Vaush in the title if you're not even like. But she spends like 90% of this video fucking glazing the fuck out of Vaush and pretty much defending everything that he's fucking done. Like it's ridiculous.
New here, please be patient. I like to take the time to set up my arguments before I knock them down. Following Ethan Klein's first stream about Vaush, Ethan would end up bringing up both me and Tipster on his stream
because you're his most vocal defenders.
I hate to say it, but two people that we are somewhat friendly on the show, Tipster and Keffals, have sacrificed themselves to Lolly Hill.
Not only did Ethan imply both of us are pedophiles, but
which was shitty.
Thousands of people who were defending Vaush were also pedophiles.
Yeah, that's shitty.
Really gross and a completely irresponsible use of his platform. Ethan responded to people upset over being falsely accused of being pedophiles by mocking the word pedojack.
But then you have to kind of understand it from Ethan's perspective, because this dude has fucking kids, and just seeing how he cried about the whole like Gaza shit, not to be political or anything, but how he cried about the whole like Gaza thing, like seeing like this guy holding his dead kid. I don't doubt Ethan cares a lot about this fucking shit. Like he doesn't. It's a very delicate subject, and I understand why he's like so highly emotional about it. But then again, that doesn't really necessarily excuse him for, you know, arguably pedojacketing Tipster and Keffals. Like it's fucking shitty on his end, 1000 fucking %. I'm not gonna defend Ethan on that whatsoever. Like he's definitely deserved to be burnt and criticized over that. However, I will say it doesn't help your case whatsoever that you are fucking completely despondent when it comes to actually addressing the core issue at hand, and that is Vaush had lolicon and fucking bestiality porn saved on his fucking computer, and like none of you, both Tipster and you, none of you are willing to address it. And that is the core of what people are complaining about. H3 in his video references like, sure, you could maybe say that, oh, we got this one thing out of context or whatever. But the point being, the dude had lolly on his computer, and like both of you never addressed that. You never addressed that. It's ridiculous.
Also, what the fuck is pedojacketing? Why do you guys have such weird ass expressions for everything? And how often are you being accused of being a pedo that you need a nickname for it? If the jacket fits, you must not acquit. And then here, this is again not a real photograph. Cam sent this, and this is not real. He is not actually wearing this, but is this a pedo jacket? I don't know.
But then came up with the stupidest nickname imaginable in order to call all of his detractors pedophiles.
I had a little bit of a loss of innocence, and I mean that. It sounds silly, but I'm being somewhat serious when I say that, because I did not know that there were so many people that were like CP adjacent. Lollipops, I'm calling them now. Vaush and the Lollipops. Vaush and the Lollipop Guild.
So in response to everything that happened, I rightfully got pretty mad. Fired off a tweet in frustration from getting called a pedophile hundreds of times in a single day. And
then, like I said in my previous recording, I say like I said, like you can fucking view that. I deleted it because it was so, the audio was so fucking garbage. But I said this in my previous fucking recording. You, Keffals, you literally joke about people being pedophiles all the time, and you make you kind of dance between making serious claims and then joking about it. Like, she does this all the time with fucking Keemstar. It's not fair. It's absolutely, if it's not fair to call you a pedophile, if it's not fair to call Vaush a pedophile, then surely it's not fair to call Keemstar a pedophile repeatedly. Surely it's not fair to call Keemstar a pedophile literally a few days before you uploaded this fucking video, right? Surely it's not fair, right? But some people are going to go like, well, no, he is a pedophile because he's dating a 20-year-old girl. An adult. Like, give me a fucking break. He met her when she was like 19 or some shit, and he dated her when she was 20, right? I'm pretty sure that's how the story goes. You could say it's creepy. Yeah, it's creepy. Dude in his 40s, like fucking dating a girl in her early 20s. Like, yeah, that's kind of weird. That's kind of weird. But to call him a pedophile, like, this extraordinarily bad faith, and she has done this repeatedly for, I want to say, like a year. She's done this for straight up a fucking year. Like, you cannot morally grandstand above this when you are so fucking eager to smear other people as pedophiles and Nazis, and smear them as pedophiles and Nazis when it fucking suits you the best. Like, to act like you're standing on some fucking moral high ground, and that it's like, oh, it's extremely bad faith and awful that Ethan did this. You do this shit all the time, Keffals, and you haven't answered for any of it, right? And I'm honestly willing to admit that I've been in this, I felt like I've been like in an echo chamber for the past year, with the whole Xander Hall. You know, Xander Hall got me sucked into this whole like far left shit. And I started following Keffals and shit like that. And I started trying to listen to Demon Mama, although Demon Mama is insufferable. So I stopped watching her pretty fast. And I started trying to dabble into some Vaush. Like, I got sucked into this fucking shit, dude. And I've looked over a lot of Keffals' shitty behaviors throughout that fucking time, and it's like for her to morally grandstand like this is just so fucking, it's so stupid, it's so hypocritical.
And move on and go back to writing scripts for spooky videos on my new channel. Was tweeting while I was angry and upset a bad idea?
You could have just like not said anything. You could have just like, hey, I don't care to look at the images in question, so I'm not going to say anything about it. You could have just like, listen, this whole Vaush shit, I'm banning anybody in my chat who's mentioning this Vaush stuff. I don't want to talk about it. Because I don't want to have to look into lolly shit. Okay. I don't want to have to do that. Okay. If someone wants to make a prepared video in the future, I'll fucking take a look at that. But until then, no comment whatsoever. I don't care about this lolly shit. Like, I don't want to get wrapped into this rabbit hole and have to look at lolly. Okay, I don't want to have to do that. She could have just said that, and that would have been like fair enough. People would have still criticized her for it. I don't think that would have been fair, but you know what? At least she shut her mouth, and she's not running defense for shit she doesn't even know. She doesn't even know what she's defending. Like,
probably the sheer scope of the harassment.
And then she'll go on to say later on the video that, oh, I never defended any of this lolly stuff. By virtue of defending Vaush and not critically looking at what people are talking about, you are defending the consumption of that shit. You are defending Vaush's consumption of that stuff, right? Because you're taking his word for it, and you're not even going to bother questioning him. You're not even going to bother holding him accountable. So you are defending Vaush's consumption of this shit. You're not defending Lolicon. You're not necessarily defending these things, but you're defending Vaush's consumption of this because he's your fucking friend, right? And you'll blindly take his word for it instead of looking at the facts of the matter, right?
Imaginable. I'd save some of the offending comments down, but honestly, That would be rewarding the people who do it. They would see me showing you it as some sort of trophy. Besides, because Ethan decided it was okay, all you need to do is scroll through the r/h3h3 production subreddit to find dozens of comments and memes calling me a pedophile. And
again, like I said, like, oh, I made these edgy jokes and all this kind of shit. Listen, people, I personally don't think you should joke about anybody being a pedophile. If I've ever done that, I'm pretty sure I've done that in the past, like when I was younger, but I can't recall ever in any recent time ever doing that. Like even to someone like Flamenco, for instance, I've never joked about Flamenco being a fucking pedo. I think he's creepy as fuck for having that Shotokan, but I don't think he's a pedo. I think Flamenco's sexual attractions to dami mommies have been made very fucking clear. I think that's the reason why he had that Shotokan in his fucking shit, not because he's sexually attracted to children. So I don't think he's a pedophile. I just think he's kind of a loser. He's kind of a freak. But that's besides the fucking point. He's a loser and a freak because he tries to hide it. He tries to hide it. Like, at least fucking own it. I can respect the dude who like owns it. It's like, yeah, I want my dick stomped on by a fucking goth dami mommy. Cry about it, liberals, like, or whatever the fuck. Like, I respect that, but the fact that he's trying to hide it and act like he's not into getting his fucking getting pegged by a fucking dominatrix, like, you're a coward. You're a coward, right? But yeah, like I'll say the same thing about fucking Flamenco. I don't think Flamenco's a pedophile. Let me refresh my mind.
Reddit to find dozens of comments.
Yeah, because like, but you make flippant comments like this all the fucking time. You make flippant comments about this all the fucking time. All the time. And you are eager to burn other people for arguably lesser shit. Arguably having said and done lesser shit. So don't sit there and act fucking innocent.
Comments and memes calling me a pedophile. Even edgy jokes I have made in private in the past.
If you're gonna burn people for that kind of shit, you should not cry about people calling you a pedophile. You should just fucking deal with it. Honestly, you should deal with it. If you're eager to throw around that shit, if you're eager to throw around that and call Keemstar a fucking pedophile 40,000 fucking times, listen, you can't cry about being called a fucking pedophile. Not once. Not once. You can't cry about it.
Now being used by the H3H3 audience, with Ethan's blessings, of course, to justify calling me a pedophile and dragging my reputation.
You've given your audience your blessings to literally call Kim a pedo. You said because I think it's funny. I think it's funny to call him a pedophile. I think it's hilarious. You've given your own audience blessings to fucking do that. We're like, no, stop. This morally grandstanding shit is so fucking obnoxious.
The reason that I even said that in the first place was honestly gallows humor. It felt a bit empowering, at least in private, to make edgy jokes like that while thousands of people speculated about how terrible of a person I am.
Who
based off of no
cares? I don't get it. I get it that she probably, just by virtue of being trans, she probably gets a lot of awful comments every single fucking day. I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. But who cares? They're a bunch of random fucking strangers. I've been called a pedophile numerous amount of fucking times simply for defending being LGBT stuff being fucking taught. And when I mean LGBT stuff being taught in schools, I mean like gay people exist, deal like that is a fact of our reality. Teaching kids that, I don't think is harmful. Okay, I think if you were to go into detail and especially like probably teaching them about trans stuff, like if they're fucking 5 years old and you're teaching them about trans people, that and non-binary, that's just fucking confusing. Just let them fucking find that out on their own. Like, it's not. They'll find that out through socializing in the fucking real world of but essentially teaching them like it's okay to be different. It's okay to be different. Essentially teaching them that's fine. I've been called a pedophile for saying that. Okay, I don't care. Call me a pedophile 50,000 million fucking times. I know what I am. People calling me something that I'm not doesn't fucking bother me. Like
substantive
evidence. And not to say oh, she's getting bothered by it, so that must mean that she's guilty. Not to say that. I obviously get why, because it's like it's a delicate fucking subject, right? And some people at first I did get upset at comments like that. At first I did. But I've just grown so fucking numb to it through like engaging through politics and shit like that. You know, just simply throughout the fucking throughout the early 2020s, like defending trans people and stuff like that. I've been called a pedophile fucking numerous amount of times. It doesn't, like, I'm so desensitized. Like, it doesn't affect me anymore. Like, it doesn't affect me. I've been called a pedophile like in VR chat many times too for like oh, you're wearing a femboy thing and you're LGBT, so you're probably a fucking pedophile. You probably groomed children. Like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't know why. Like, especially from Keffals, like, you'd think she'd grow numb to it by now. I almost don't believe her that she gets offended at this shit. I don't think she fucking cares. I don't think she fucking cares. I don't know why she's weaponizing her victimhood.
When I sent this text message, I was relentlessly being called a groomer and a pedophile by conservatives due to my work advocating for transgender youth. The fact that false allegations of pedophilia
okay, you know what? Your own fucking damn fault.
Journalists have actually written about it before. This situation only got worse when ContraPoints decided to call me out directly on Twitter, followed by blocking me despite me never publicly in society.
What did she say? Because like she doesn't say what she said.
Followed by blocking me despite it got worse when ContraPoints.
Because I didn't see this in my ritual. Because I'm playing in the background. I don't have two monitors. Okay. Using bogus transphobia accusations to defend a cis man's public consumption of sexually explicit childlike images is unbelievable, harmful. I 100% agree with that. That's all I'm going to say about this. Yes, the video is coming. Using bogus transphobia accusation. Yeah, like she was literally like, it was hardly even subtle. She was like accusing Ethan of engaging in transphobia. She could say a million times that she's blue in the face, she could say until she's blue in the face that she doesn't think Ethan is transphobic, but you are literally saying like you're engaging in transphobia when you do these things to me, when you say these things about me. It's like, no, you don't. It's not transphobic to call a trans person a pedophile. It's transphobic to call a person a pedophile by virtue of being a fucking trans. That's what's transphobic. He's not calling you a pedophile because you're trans. He's insinuating and calling you a pedophile because of your defense of Vaush's consumption of lolicon, which you are doing. You are doing that. You are doing that by virtue of flippantly hand waving that shit away and being like, well, I'm just taking his word for it. Fuck you people. You're taking him out of context. It's like, have you seen, like, there's no context. We don't even need Vaush's previous statements about CP consumption. Just look at what the fuck the dude jerks off to. You don't care about that.
Decided to call me out directly on Twitter, followed by blocking me despite me never publicly interacting with her throughout this controversy whatsoever. I want to choose my words carefully here and dissect how disingenuous and outright malicious controversy.
Outright malicious.
This is a situation.
It's literally what you're
on
doing.
Surface level, this all seems fine, but she didn't know enough about the situation to even comment on it.
Neither do you. Neither do you, Keffals. You and Tipster have self-admitted you haven't seen the images. You don't know what's in the images. You don't know you only know what's in the images from Vaush's retarded fucking perspective. Because Vaush straight up lied about what the image is. What the image is. He says, oh, it's just some fucking girl who's like, you know, she's kind of average height. And you know, she's just getting fucked. And you know, I thought it was a petite girl. I thought it was a goblin. Like, like neither do you, Keffals, because knowing what the images are, that's fucking bullshit. That is bullshit.
I never defended anyone consuming sexually explicit.
You do. You are doing it
being
right now by making this video and defending Vaush.
Pedophile hundreds of times in a single day is transphobic. And this started after childlike images. And yes, being dead named and misgendered alongside
being dead. Okay, yeah, that's transphobic.
Called a pedophile hundreds of times.
But who is doing the dead naming? It's probably like actually it's probably not Ethan's community. It's probably not Ethan's community who are full of a bunch of fucking liberals and progressives. It's probably not that, right? It's probably the Nazis that are also jumping down on it. It's probably them, Keffals. Like, you know this. Why are you... She is lumping all these people in together. And I've seen Gay Fesh do this. I've seen Gay Fesh do this both on Twitter and on Blue Sky. Where they're trying to lump in like literal fucking Nazis, or not literal fucking Nazis, but like, you know, far right people. They're trying to lump those people in with like, that's Ethan's audience. Look, this is the consequences of Ethan's rhetoric. Like, I might screenshot it. I might pull it up. I don't know. I might pull it up. Who knows? But if it's on the screen, it's on the screen. If it's not, that's because I'm lazy. But Gayfesh literally says this, like, this is the consequences of Ethan's rhetoric. And you see this guy saying like, oh, I'm sick of these groomers or whatever, these fucking grooming pedophiles or some shit. And then you go to the dude's profile and you click on it. And it's like the dude's following like Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro, fucking Steven Crowder. Like this is not an H3 viewer. This person isn't even following H3. They're not even following any of these fucking people involved in this shit. They're only following like right-wing demagogues. Like this is not an H3 viewer. Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking? Like this schizophrenic, like fucking conspiratard sort of tying these two things together. Like it's just, you're desperate. You are so fucking desperate. You are glizzy gobbling the fuck out of fucking Vaush right now. Like, stop. Think critically, for fuck's sake.
And this started after Ethan Klein decided to call me a pedophile. If you want a pretty clear example of how Ethan's rhetoric has led to transphobia, Bad Empanada, a leftist YouTuber with
Bad Empanada's a fucking retard. I don't know why the fuck we're ever considering.
As a collective, trans people are racist pedophiles.
Bad Empanada hates H3.
Mock the concept of pedojacketing.
Bad Empanada hates Ethan Klein. Like, I don't know why we're lumping, like, Bad Empanada, a famous fan of H3, dude. Bad Empanada is like a fucking communist, retarded, stupid fuck. Like, this dude thinks Hamas did nothing wrong. He obviously fucking hates Ethan Klein. He obviously hates Ethan Klein. Why are you trying to lump in Bad Empanada with H3? Like, this is so fucking disingenuous.
First of all, whoa, I didn't say anything about trans people, and the fact that you brought that up in this conversation is really fucked.
It is
weird too, like,
and it's funny too, because if it's like deja vu, it's like I feel like the fucking shoe on head shit's happening all over again.
A lot of these people, I honestly just they seem to like be obsessed with using trans identity to like.
She is. She weaponizes it constantly.
Like, you're not attacking them because their opinions is dog shit because they're defending horrible things because they are horrible people. No, the only possible thing is because they are trans. Like, they are, honestly, as a collective, they are on average pedophiles, white, racist, yet they like, you know,
I don't think it needs to be stated, but I'm gonna say it anyways. This is like the most schizo shit in the fucking world. They are on average pedophiles, racist, misogynist, scammers. They are terrorists. They're well, no, he wouldn't call them communists because he is a communist. Like, what the fuck, bro? I hang out with trans people all the time when I'm on VR chat. Cause I hang out in the trans academy and shit like that, and I like you know, one of my friends is trans and they like hanging out in that fucking goddamn it. They like hanging out in the trans academy, so I'm usually there and shit like that, just chilling. Like, you know, he's actually so right. We always talk about pedophilia, terrorism, you know, killing Palestinian or racism. You know, we're like, it's so, yeah, he's so on the money. Bro is on the. Oh my god, please get this fucking shit off.
Pedophiles who do racism from a position of whiteness, and they defend themselves from a position of trans.
From a position of whiteness. From a position of whiteness. I don't know if you can see my mouse, but I'm circling this fucking pasty mayo tard's face right now. This is what I'm doing. I'm circling this fucking pasty fucking white mayo fucking white dude.
And it's fucking
like, why
disgusting.
are you?
I think that people need to be careful.
Does he think because he named himself Bad Empanada, like, oh, I like empanadas, so I'm culturally like sensitive and like I can't be white? Like, I like enchiladas, so I'm Hispanic, guys. Like, what the fuck?
False allegations of pedophilia. And in fact, this was something that Ethan Klein knew all too well, because he rightfully put Keemstar on blast back in 2016 for falsely accusing RuneScape Twitch streamer Tony Winchester of—
Yeah, you know, if only Ethan put you on blast for falsely accusing Keemstar of being a pedophile. It's a shame, really.
Being a pedophile, resulting in years long.
Well, it doesn't. Well, it's not the same type of harm. It's not the same type of harm. Yeah. Well, you know what? It might not be at the same scale, but it's the same type of fucking harm. It is. You are falsely accusing someone of being a pedophile. You are circulating those allegations around as if they are a fact, as if they're a matter of fact, and it does affect this person. It does affect this person. As much as Keemstar would probably act like he's beyond it and it doesn't affect them, it fucking does. It damages his image to some fucking degree to have an entire sect of the internet think he's a fucking pedophile. And not to say Keffals occupies an entire sect or Keffals dominates an entire sect of the internet, but like everybody circulates this shit. Everybody left of, you know, a sock dem circulates that Keemstar is literally a pedophile. Keemstar is literally a pedophile. All this kind of shit. Like, yeah, it's fucking
Falsely
stupid.
accused an elderly streamer of being a convicted pedophile. Ugh. I mean, how does he ever even live this one down? And you know what his evidence was? Wait for it. He looked like the guy in the photo. Yeah, that's it. Now, Keemstar likes to act like him and Tony are all good. But here's a clip of Tony talking about the incident 1.5 years later, describing how this one mishap on Keemstar's drama alert ended up with years of endless harassment for him. Have a listen.
One time I had, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of people threatened to kill my family, harassing my sister, my nephews. I mean, me. I mean, you know, they were just they hacked my RuneScape account. They hacked our YouTube channel. They did more crap than you can even possibly imagine. Okay, all about how I'm a child molester and a pedophile. Anyway, I sent a little Twitter out. I just said, Keemstar, just so you know, your BS a year and a half ago still causes me trouble every day.
It's just outright disgusting to me that Ethan Klein is willing to call people pedophiles seemingly without any consideration for the ramifications of his actions.
Why are you just describing yourself here, Keffals? Why are you literally describing yourself?
That he has put others on blast for doing the same thing that he is doing now. But of course, maybe over the years, he stopped caring about right or wrong. As throughout most of his recent stream when he engaged in all of this vitriolic behavior, he made sure to let everyone know how much money he was making doing.
What a Freudian slip.
I'll tell you this, Vaush and friends, I am making money right now, and I hope that bothers you. I'm gonna make a ton of money right now, bro. And you know what? I don't give a fuck.
It's just so sad to see. What happened to the Ethan that was standing up for Tony Winchester? I mean,
that's the moral grandstanding again. What happened? What happened to the social justice warrior Ethan Klein? What happened?
Involved in this.
She says, I'll try giving him a call later to see if this can be sorted instead of becoming online blood sports. Well, listen, that's kind of my business.
That's true.
We're in a bloody business. And y'all just defended animated CP, so let's giddy up.
Even went as far as to say that he knew he was engaging in defamation and encouraged Vaush to sue him.
Oh, this is interesting. So she plays this clip. Wait for Ethan to say that wait for Ethan to even remotely imply that he recognizes that he's being defamatory.
Legitimately sue Ethan for slander. Someone says, as nice as that would be, I doubt there's enough case. To have a case. No, there is. The amount of slander and false accusations are more than enough for a solid lawsuit. I said, I'm begging you, please, I'll even crowdfund for you to sue me. Let's do it. And I'm being dead serious. I would be fucking over the moon if you sued me. Please, bro.
Going back to ContraPoint.
So that's Ethan literally not saying that he recognizes that he is being defamatory. Vaush accuses him of being defamatory, and then Ethan says, well, then sue me then. I'm eager. Let's drag this out to court. Sue me then, if you think I'm being defamatory. That's Ethan saying that. That's not him saying. Yeah.
For a moment, ContraPoints absolutely knows what she is doing and is being intentionally malicious. By lying and saying that I'm defending...
I will say ContraPoints is... I agree that she knows what she's doing. She's obviously bitter towards Vaush after the whole Professor Flowers shit, where she defended Professor Flowers from sexually harassing or she defended Professor Flowers for sexually harassing Vaush. She didn't exactly defend. It's almost like it's kind of weird because ContraPoints in that situation is like Keffals now, where she defended Professor Flowers without even knowing what the fuck she did. Like, without even knowing what the fuck she did, she defended Professor Flowers. Are you fucking kidding me? She defended Professor Flowers. So basically what Professor Flowers did, if you don't know, Professor Flowers and Vaush were being flirtatious with one another. And eventually they had a falling out and they disagreed. And Professor Flowers was talking about Vaush's dick. and that's considered sexual harassment. Like she's talking ill of his dick and stuff like that, saying like, oh, it's super small and gross and weird looking and disgusting. Like if a guy made comments about a girl's vagina like that, that would be considered sexual harassment. So yeah, she was sexually harassing Vaush that way, making fucking uncalled for, fucking sleazy comments about his fucking dick. And ContraPoints defended Professor Flowers because they're friends, and didn't care to actually address any of the accusations. Like I don't think she ever mentioned that Professor Flowers was sexually harassing Vaush. She just went ahead and pivoted. Well, Vaush is a bad person. Vaush is a bad fucking piece of shit. And she just went off like that. So she's basically Keffals. She was basically Keffals now, with this whole Vaush shit. And so yeah, like I don't doubt that she's being spiteful because like Keffals is friends with Vaush and she sees this as an opportunity to shit on Vaush, and so she takes it. I don't doubt that, but she's well within her right to fucking do that, honestly, because it's just petty shit at the end of the day.
Of childlike sexual images and calling me harmful to the trans community. I
wouldn't say Keffals is necessarily, well, kinda, because she brings like a really fucking bad image, especially when she's defending shit like this. This is like especially when she's defending shit like this. It doesn't make the trans community look good. As much as Keffals hates to admit it, she is like a representative of the trans community, and when she's staking her entire reputation on defending Vaush for consuming fucking horse rape lolicon or whatever, it doesn't look good. Doesn't look good for the trans community. It provides to right-wingers and alt-righters to be like, this is literally the trans community. Look, this is Keffals, well-known trans icon, is doing like it doesn't look fucking good at all. It comes with the territory of being a public figure. Or not even a public figure. Well, yeah, it comes with the territory of being a public figure, because I would say if like a trans Twitch streamer was doing this shit, I would say it's pretty much the same thing.
A significantly larger creator basically gave the signal to everyone.
And it's funny too, because she's doing the small bean shit. She's doing the small bean shit she criticized Soul Bunny for doing right now. She's like, I'm a small streamer, I'm a small content creator, and you're just attacking me because you think you could get away with it. Like you're literally doing the Soul Bunny thing right now.
All of my criticisms.
And you criticize Soul Bunny for doing this.
Escalate the harassment even further. The worst part about all of this is how disproportionate it is. I only have 43,000 subscribers on my main YouTube
Small bean.
And I'm getting my reputation dragged through the mud by people who have tens of millions of subscribers collectively between all their platforms.
This almost sounds verbatim what Soul Bunny said, and Keffals criticized Soul Bunny for saying this.
More heinous, however, is that ContraPoints discussed in her video canceling how harmful and damaging it is when smaller creators have false allegations spread against them, unlike larger creators like Ethan Klein, who have the money to pay for PR. And
she's also fucking small beaning Vaush, which is another fucking stupid thing, because Vaush literally has like 700,000 fucking followers. Like, the fuck are you talking about? Like, small bean. This dude can handle himself against a fucking several million sub channel. Give me a fucking break. Holy shit. Especially when it's Ethan fucking Klein of all people. Someone's so divisive, and not just the commentary community, but also the political commentary community. Like someone's so insanely divisive. Like to act like Ethan has this big fucking dick that he's swinging around. Like it's stupid. So
it's back.
I've also become very disillusioned with the way
they're almost mutuals. I would argue.
So frivolously on social media, by the way they're used to escalate conflict instead of promote understanding, and by the way they're sometimes weaponized to destroy people who have made mistakes, but who really don't deserve to be destroyed. Now maybe you're thinking, destroyed? What do you mean destroyed? James is a 20-year-old millionaire on his way to owning his own makeup empire. And you are completely correct. If you're James Charles, if you're a superstar, then being canceled most likely does not destroy you. The cancelers blend into the general backdrop of haters, and they can set you back a few million subscribers and a lot of emotional turmoil, but in the long run, they can't really touch your success. But here's the thing, what if you're not James Charles? What if you're a small creator? What if you can't afford public relations help? What if you belong to a marginalized community and you rely on that community for support? Well, in that case,
your life is nothing. You serve zero purpose. You should destroy yourself now. and give somebody else a piece of that oxygen and ozone layer that's covered up so that we can breathe inside this blue trap bubble.
I feel like throughout this entire fiasco, the things I have actually been upset about were simply ignored. And I want to lay out my...
Oh, you don't fucking say! You don't say, Keffals.
Let's address some of the accusations made against me, both by Ethan Klein and ContraPoints. What I'm upset about in this situation more than anything is Ethan presenting his audience clips from Vaush's streams that deliberately cut out very important context. For instance, this is a clip that Ethan Klein played on his show to prove that Vaush is a pedophile.
Here's
funny pot in our own chat.
It's funny because people go, "Oh, he's taken out of context," but listen what he says.
Consistent. Yes, 100%. Listen very carefully to the exact language that I use.
Listen very carefully as I express myself articulately and clearly as I possibly can.
I've yet to hear a convincing moral or legal argument as to why possession of child pornography should be illegal.
That was pretty bad, right? Here's what was said immediately after that clip was played, which was not shown on Ethan's stream.
Wrong. It was shown on Ethan's stream. It was actually a better version. It was Vaush reacting to this clip and giving his own context, his own entire context to the clip. So you're wrong, actually. If you don't think an adequate amount of context was provided, blame Vaush for that, because Vaush reacted to this clip himself and gave the context.
100% legal. In fact, and this is going to be a real hot take, I have yet to hear a convincing moral or legal argument as to why possession of child pornography should be illegal. Actual child pornography. How's that for a hot fucking take? Now, to clarify on this take, as I feel it necessary to do so, we do not, in this country, typically criminalize people who have procured media or resources which were the product of abuse. It is not illegal to own necklaces that have slave diamonds or whatever. What are they called? Yeah, blood diamonds. Yeah, all of our clothes produced by sweatshops, our computers with silicon and lithium mined from literal fucking slaves. In our society, we have already deemed that people...
I'm not even going to waste my fucking time arguing why this is a fucking stupid argument. Like, everyone's already done it.
For the mechanisms,
but it's a dumb argument. Just know that.
And the content they engage with are produced. No. Right now. You like that argument? Ooh, you like that? You like that moral culpability? You're all worse than fucking CP owners, and I am too. Do you like that? No ethical consumption under capitalism. Shit sucks, right? But if we accept that argument for slave labor, then we definitely
no
have to
ethical
accept
consumption under capitalism. Fuck me, dude.
None of it is. Yeah, I agree. None of it is ethical. But we've already made this social decision that people are not responsible for the systems by which the stuff they own is produced. We've already made that decision. You're right, but you're kind of revealing your power level. No, this is exactly what I fucking mean. I'm right, but I'm revealing my fucking pedo power level because I'm right. No, this is a moral inconsistency in society. The answer should be that all of these things are bad.
It is. That is the answer. Like, who are you talking to? Who do you think you're talking to?
Time that it occurred.
Please, right now, uncuck your dumb shit, libcuck fucking SJW brains, and recognize this empirically correct fact that I am about.
Once again, he sets it up in the clearest terms possible. Clear your ears out, everybody. Sit down and listen to every word, which I mean with my whole body and soul.
Spit. It is possible for an adult and a child to have a sexual relationship and for it to have positive outcomes on the child as well.
That's game. I don't know how he survived that one.
What?
I don't know how he survived that one.
Once again, absolutely horrendous, right? Absolutely no way this could be justified, correct? Now I'll show you the full clip with the context from before and after the clip was played, which Ethan Klein did not show his audience.
Not that you guys misunderstood. I just think that this is very dumb for you to misunderstand this point. It's not like you guys misunderstood. It's just like, this is embarrassing. Okay, look, this is super duper simple, okay? Act utilitarianism is about considering the consequences of a specific
this is Vaush explaining why this is Vaush explaining the difference between like an act and a rule utilitarianism, and then a act utilitarianism would say just let him explain it.
It is possible. Please right now uncut your dumb shit, libcut fucking SJW brains, and recognize the empirically correct fact that I'm about to spit. It is possible for an adult and a child to have a sexual relationship and for it to have positive outcomes on the child as well. That is possible. However, categorically, we discourage those relationships because, as a rule, it is substantially more likely that enabling them would cause harm in society. That's the difference between act and rule utilitarianism. And act utilitarianism say, oh, this is important, we don't want to have sex, don't take action. But rule utilitarianism, which is what I am would say either that individual outcome was good, the act was still bad, because in general, in broader application, for adults and children to have sex with one another, is an unethical act. So not just absolutely, which is our immediate practice, it's not the rule, it's not opposite of what you're saying. I never said anything opposite of what I literally just said the opposite of what you're saying. And no, just because I'm not sure how it's because I make rule utilitarian.
Something that really
So he says that if you don't understand it, because maybe there's someone in my audience who doesn't, he's basically comparing like there is two different moral systems, and that is act utilitarian and rule utilitarianism. Basically an act utilitarianism basically judges the morality of an action based on the outcome. So if I take my gun and I start firing just randomly in the air and the bullet goes flying through the sky and it hits a robber in the face as he's conducting a robbery, an act utilitarian would be like, oh, that was a good thing that you did that. But a rule utilitarian is like, you're crazy and you're insane because you could have hit an innocent person, right? That's essentially like a rule utilitarian. Is like the rule is do not fire your firearm willy-nilly up in the air because you could hit an innocent person, right? That's what a rule utilitarian person would say. And he basically makes this argument and he uses the comparison of, there can be hypothetically an instance where a kid and an adult get together and nothing bad happens, right? No, like it doesn't result in the child, resulting to drugs or having, trust issues or, while it is technically rape, the child, that nothing bad happened to the child, or actually we can even assume that maybe something good happened to the child. Maybe they had a good experience and that went on to help them form better relationships. It's insane hypothetical, highly extraordinarily unlikely, but it's possible. There's a non-zero chance. And that's essentially what Vaush is saying. And yeah, Ethan did clip this out of context. He did somewhat provide Vaush's explanation. But Ethan did clip that out of context. You know what would fucking suck? If Vaush was in a debate with Vegan Gains and he literally said that he cannot morally impugn people who consume child pornography because he has silicon in his fucking computer. And that potentially might have been potentially might have been produced using child slave labor. So it doesn't help Vaush's case because he's literally now he's making the argument that he cannot morally impugn people for consuming child pornography. Right. And that's something that's not really addressed really at all. I tried to bring this up with Tipster, but he says it sounds like Vaush is making the same point, but it's like, but he's literally saying you cannot morally impugn someone for consuming child pornography. And apparently Vaush doesn't stand by that nowadays. Real convenient, isn't that? I wonder if Vaush can actually articulate why he doesn't stand by that anymore. It just seems so oddly convenient that now all of a sudden when he's being confronted on these fucking clips, like he's changed his mind on that. He's changed his mind specifically on that, right? Because the other times Vaush is taken out of context, but this Vegan Gains debate, I watched it. It's fucking bad. It's pretty bad.
Bothered me was that Ethan never showed any of the numerous times that Vaush has talked about how CP
Who cares?
bad throughout his years of being.
Who cares? Because Vaush has been extraordinarily inconsistent about this. Who cares? You haven't shown the numerous amount of times Vaush argued against CP. There's clips of him literally defending the consumption of it. He says, I cannot morally impugn those people because I have silicon in my computer. There's literally, I'll probably play it. It's not that long of a clip, but I'll play it right there. I probably played it already, but yeah, like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, dude, come on.
On the platform.
The Vegan Gains debate, that's a solid F. Not only did I not make my arguments well, at one point I made my anti-child pornography argument so poorly that it got clipped out of context and people are using it as an argument that
let's hear him explain it.
My basic argument is that, like, why is child pornography bad? Because to produce it, to hurt children. Because it hurts people to produce it, yeah? Producing children.
Weird how Tipster made this clip, by the way. Kind of strange. Kind of bizarre how, like, he didn't include the clip itself from the debate, right? Because Vaush straight up fucking lied. What did Vaush say about the clip?
An argument that I support child pornography. My basic argument.
He did. He literally did. He said, I cannot morally impugn people for consuming child pornography. That is what he said. There's no out of context. It's like people are trying to misconstrue that as me saying that. Vaush, you literally said that.
Okay, so you're saying that you don't believe somebody should be responsible for their consumption, like their economic choices.
Yeah, I think that from the perspective of a consumer, there is a degree of abstraction associated with purchasing a product that that from a virtue ethicist perspective sort of negates the moral ungood, the moral wrong that we've committed. Because we buy shit all the time that's made, the silicon farmed by slaves in Africa, plastic made in like, you know, factory farms that pollute the earth, like that sort of thing. But we don't impugn each other for it.
Okay, so if you were to, so, you know, there's pedophiles, right, who buy child pornography. Would you say they should not be held responsible for doing that?
Yes.
Really? Even though they're directly supporting child rape?
Yeah, I think that's it's hypocritical. If I because I bought my computer and the silicon in it was
man, shut your bitch ass up. Nobody asked you that.
You literally said that.
And is that like
Why is child pornography
bad?
Because to produce it, you have to hurt children.
Because it hurts people to produce it, yeah?
Producing child porn requires harming a child. The argument I'm making is that it frustrates me that liberals recognize child pornography as bad. Great, nice, well done. But then they're really, really defensive of like global commodity production chains that involve child slave labor. Like they'll talk that off like really, really, really readily, you know? Like, oh, well, there's no other choice. Oh, well, we don't have to care about that. Oh, yeah, dude, like cobalt that's mined up is done by a child slave. But, you know, like whatever, that's just how the economy goes.
Oh, dude, whatever. Like we make computers, they look sick, bro. Like don't think about
This
it.
is a straw man, by the way. Like I don't know a single fucking person that makes this argument. It's like, well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, Vaush. Like, if anything, I've heard I haven't heard liberals make this argument. If anything, I've heard conservatives make this argument. So I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
I don't know. Me personally, I would have tried to find another example.
Me too. Me too, buddy.
Now, I'll be honest. I'm being charitable to Vaush because I've known him for a long time. I've seen him get slandered and lied about as a constant thing throughout his entire career. I don't think he's lying when he said he didn't know those images were lolly. For those who didn't watch the...
Let's replay that. You know, I know this is already being a long video. Fuck me. It's already an hour. Shit. I'm gonna put it at 2x speed after this. Let's.
I've seen him get slandered and lied about as a constant... For a long time. I've seen him get slandered and lied about as a constant thing throughout his entire career. I don't think he's lying when he said he didn't know those images were lolly.
Do you even know what the images are? Have you seen the images? You don't think he's lying? Have you seen it? So you mean to tell me you're gonna blindly take his word for it when everyone that doesn't have a vested interest in defending Vaush isn't defending Vaush? And even some people, like someone like Femyaz, who is a Vaush dick rider, is even questioning whether or not he should be supporting Vaush after having seen the images. You know, it should cue you into, maybe I should be more informed about this topic.
For those who didn't watch the video linked at the beginning of this one, this is how Vaush responded when the news went viral. Another thing which Ethan conveniently did not play during his stream.
They say you downloaded Lolicon. Deliberately disingenuous framing.
Deliberately disingenuous framing. Vaush, you literally, it is Lolicon. You acknowledged it was Lolicon and was downloaded on your computer. There's no that is fact. That is a fact.
I'll explain the whole thing. For those who don't know, 4 days ago, I was doing what I do, which is showing chat men's formal wear.
Listen to how Vaush snakes around addressing what actually happened.
And talking at them about it for hours on end. And I was going to open up an image with right-click, open a new window, but instead I did right-click, save as. And it opened a folder called To Be Sorted. The To Be Sorted folder, which is where I put images that have yet to be sorted, and in case the name didn't indicate that, was the place that it went to because the file type of the image, which was like, I don't know, JPEG or something? I don't know. The last image that I saved to the To Be Sorted folder was an image of Marcel from Dungeon Meshi being roasted by Gordon Ramsay while cooking a man.
None of this is actually addressing what people are upset about. He is poisoning the well by acting like people are getting upset at him for saving some fucking stupid fucking meme. And then he'll go on to bring up this Legend of Zelda character that he had saved on there too. And then he'll find out, oh yeah, and there was some kind of like porn of like some girl, and you know, she wasn't a lolly. She doesn't look like a lolly to me. And you know, but anyways, whatever. Like,
Drake. Hold on.
Let's put this
on.
on.
It's a good anime, guys, and a good manga. Anyway, I saved that there. And it opened up the folder preview, which showed thumbnails of images that I had in there. A lot of which were pornographic, most of which, though there were some non-pornographic images, including Reagan Ripley from.
What about the pornographic images, Vaush? Why are people getting mad at you for saving? Like, what was in the image?
Inside Job, standing around in a bikini, I think. I don't know. And non-pornographic canon images of Rauru from The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, which is funny because there are far more pornographic images of Rauru in there than there are non-pornographic images. But honestly, Rauru just looks so good that even non-pornographic images feel pornographic to me. Yeah, an innately pornographic character design. Why would you keep your porn on your computer? It's to be sorted. I'm not arguing this with you guys anymore, okay? Yeah, we get it. The most potent roasting, you know, oh, well, why even say, I don't want to argue with you guys about it, okay? Because it's a to be sorted folder, which had the taxes in it, you know, whatever. Also, which need to be sorted. I don't get what's complicated about it. Anyway, of the images that showed, 2 of them were from the same artist. 2 of them, those from that artist turned out to be a lolicon. One of the 2 images, and unfortunately talking about this is always like a double-edged sword because I can't show to defend myself, nor would I encourage you to go look it up because this is a lolicon artist, so I don't like want to direct you to that, you know? But one of the 2.
It's very funny. Very funny how Vaush didn't seem to think it was lolicon. Now all of a sudden it is magically lolicon, and he doesn't want to send people. So, well, I mean, to be fair, if you were to like link it, obviously that's like violation of YouTube's TOS. But if he said, go look at the image yourself, guys, go look at the image and come to your own conclusion. Why wouldn't he say that? You know, like, oh, because it's lolicon, it's like drawing child pornography. Like, I don't want you guys watching that. It's like, because Vaush doesn't want you to know exactly what the fuck he was looking at. That's why. Because if you knew what the fuck he was looking at, you would throw up in your fucking mouth for having defended this dude.
2 images from this lolicon artist, okay? To be clear, one of them flatly did not look like lolicon. I'm sorry.
These are recent images too. These were recently saved images because when you save an image, it shows all. It's not going to show your old images. It's going to show all the recently saved, and 2 of them, 2 of the, I think it was like 10 or 15. 2 of the 10 or 15 saved were of lolicon, and they were pretty much side by side to one another. Kind of weird. They were pretty much side by side, right?
You can say it's defensive. I think that's bullshit. I literally went back and looked. The chick is like 6 heads tall. She literally it's like apparently.
That's a lie. That's a lie, by the way. When he says she's 6 heads tall, that's a lie.
The reason why people have said that is because it's a drawing of a VTuber. And the VTuber is usually drawn as a lolly. But in that case, that's blaming me for a drawing that's
the VTuber is usually drawn as a lolly. Vaush, that is literally like, that is how they present themselves. That is how they present themselves. They present themselves as a 16-year-old anime girl. Now they're not actually 16, but that is how, because VTubing has this like fucking, this, you know, VTubing is almost like LARPing, where they're like kind of LARPing as their VTube model, whatever it is. And they talk about like in-universe things. She acts like a 16-year-old. And her model is modeled as if it was a 16-year-old child.
Was in there. So I completely reject that line of logic. It just looked like a normal drawing.
As I went over my past videos,
it just looked like a normal drawing. It looked like a normal drawing. When you look at this person's face, like just keep in mind, big eyes, big head, small stature, medium, like looks to like, well, you can't see like their fucking lower half, but like the image is basically, it's this fucking girl getting fucked, and it looks like a kid. Like, I don't know. It looks like a kid. It does not look like a normal image.
About her is that the creator behind this persona actually encourages.
And then here we go, the whataboutisms. Like, oh, what about this creator? This creator is a lolly. Yeah, they're a fucking degenerate. They deserve to be lined up against a wall. Okay, big fucking deal. That has nothing to do with Vaush.
A cursory glance of her Twitter shows that she actually has a hashtag in her bio where she encourages her fans to make this kind of art, and it receives.
Yeah, it's disgusting. Why did Vaush save it onto his computer?
This specifically because I haven't seen anyone do commentary on this or be outraged about the creator who is encouraging this content to be created. So often I feel in situations like this one,
because it is a deliberate and hardly implicit obfuscation from Vaush having saved that and jerked off to it and found it arousing and attractive and hot enough to save it on his fucking computer. That's why.
Incredibly quick to get angry at the consumers, and rightfully so. But the most evil people are the producers.
Listen, we'll get mad at her later, but first, Vaush.
At its core, is built on the untold suffering of children all across the world. With all this said, I believe Vaush when he said that all of this was a mistake. If you believe that this is a situation where no one could possibly make that mistake, you should also show that outrage to Ethan, but it's a cartoon Klein.
I just want to say I thought she's hot. That's it. You didn't? She was like a lady. She's not a little girl. She's like a full-blown 17. Fuck. But it's a cartoon. It's a
On the topic of Ethan Klein, I want to address one of the criticisms.
Yeah,
I made,
and that was a
which is
disgusting
I
comment.
simply weaponized my trans identity in this situation
You
in
did.
order to manipulate people.
You did. You
Should it be
did.
acceptable for people who are supposedly leftists?
You were like insanely blunt about it.
First of all,
You weren't even trying to be like
anything about trans people, and the fact that you
low key
brought that
about
in
it.
This conversation is really fucked. Like, why are you? I feel like she's using her trans identity to run defense for a very valid criticism.
She is.
I didn't say shit about trans people, and I would never.
You
That's a
didn't.
position. That's a position that I loathe.
How did trans people even get into the mix?
From
They
this,
didn't.
We never mentioned it. It's absolutely.
It was never discussed at all.
You want to talk about bad faith arguments? I mean, give me, you know what I mean? Give me a break. It shouldn't be acceptable for people who are, and what is the shit pedo jacketing? These people have the funniest, silliest, dumbest phrases for serious ass shit.
Not a word I've never heard.
I didn't put
until Friday.
what's the jacket? Pedo jacket? We are already the target of that by the right. Incredibly disappointing to see from people who should know better. And again, it's this whole thing like, yo, we're leftists, so can you please not talk about my infatuation with cartoon TP?
First of all, I want to say that I don't believe Ethan Klein is transphobic. And years of insane harassment, which sometimes has bled into real-world stalking, has made me quite sensitive on this subject. I actually agree with ContraPoints on principle. Making up false allegations of transphobia in order to weaponize your identity and silence your critics is incredibly harmful for trans people as a whole. Just as I believe making up false allegations of pedophilia against people is harmful, and, as Ethan Klein is already aware, has lasting consequences. Trans people are just as capable of doing bad things. Trans people are just as capable of being pedophiles as cisgender people. That's why I found one part of Ethan's coverage of Vaush particularly interesting.
Well, Keem, I guess, had a situation where someone drew his daughter, and so this is personal to him. So
I did not know that.
Yeah.
So what Keem said, and I didn't know that. Somebody, an artist that I guess Vaush is friends with, drew CP of Keem's daughter.
Disgusting.
Shortly after this point in the stream, Ethan Klein was corrected.
Okay, so just to clarify, there was an artist that drew some lolly that supposedly Chris from Mr. Beast's crew shared. That same artist drew Keem's daughter.
And then after finding out it was Chris from Mr. Beast who was friends with the lolicon artist and not Vaush Tipster or I, he just simply stopped caring and dismissed it all.
Oh, it's got nothing to do with Vaush or Tips or anything?
So it was all...
I heard him say that they were friends.
Yeah, no, he kind of links it all
Okay,
together.
whatever. We're talking the Keemstar Vortex. Yeah, I don't care about any of this.
For those unaware, Chris Tyson for the Mr. Beast crew was a longtime fan of Shadman, an infamous lolicon artist who made NSFW art of real underage girls, including Keemstar's daughter. Shadman is an evil person, first and foremost, for making me feel bad for Keemstar, possibly for the first time in my life. Chris had not only purchased custom-drawn lolly art from Shadman, but proudly displayed it in her living room. An internet archive link still shows when in 2016, Chris tweeted, "Nothing gets..."
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Keffals literally defend Chris Tyson about this shit? I'm pretty sure she did.
Not cranking like some lolly. But I guess Ethan approves of cranking your knob to lolly, since he dismissed all of this and began praising Chris.
I like Chris. She's a great person. I've spoken with her and I really like her. I've met her a few times. So I don't know. I don't know what happened there. I haven't looked into it.
But that's the problem, isn't it?
That's not him defending Chris. He's saying, I haven't looked into it. I'm not aware. If only you could do the same fucking thing, Keffals. People started dragging in like, well, what about this Chris Tyson stuff? Ethan's like, I don't know anything about that. Don't fucking drag. I don't care. Like, I know Chris. I like Chris, but I don't know anything about this. I don't want to talk about it. Moving on. If only you could do the same fucking thing.
Beneficial for Ethan to attack Vaush.
Christ.
Vaush has a smaller platform, and so do Tipster and I. We can't fight back. But if he were to have similar energy for Chris, who Mr. Beast defends vehemently, it would have consequences for him. The Mr. Beast channel is, after all, the second largest channel on the entire platform. By Ethan's logic,
Ethan would have been worshipped for going after Chris Tyson. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, oh, that would have been bad optics. That would have been great optics. Are you fucking kidding me? Ethan is still in the commentary sphere. Like, that would have been good optics. He's already being worshipped because, or not worshipped, but he's already being praised for going after fucking you and Tipster and Vaush, right? And also Hassan, like fighting with Hassan's audience and shit like that. He's already been like, he has every incentive to go after Chris Tyson. The commentary community thinks Chris Tyson is a fucking degenerate, which they are.
You should definitely be checking yourselves to why. You know, like the thing that really bothers me about
this is a
shit
stupid
is
argument.
that anytime you want to look at like hentai on a hentai site, you have to like negate the tag lolly and thus 50% of the site's content. The thing that bothers me is people who pretend there's no relationship whatsoever between like drawn lolly shit and actual attraction to children. Because of course there's a relationship. It's ridiculous.
Okay. Take it from me. That's the end.
Okay.
That's it. I mean, he's right.
That's
Therefore,
right.
he just did like a transitive property. Therefore, I want to fuck kids. Like it's like a clean equation. Yep. He says, I watch lolly, and people who watch lolly want to fuck kids.
Chris enjoys lolicon. She's arguably one of the largest trans public figures in the world. host to a channel that is beloved by millions of children. Where is this
Yeah.
energy for protecting kids, Ethan? Or do you not care about children and only care about attacking low-hanging fruit that can't fight back? I find this selective moral outrage to be rather telling. It either points to the fact that you don't care about child abuse, or that you only care about it when you can use it to feather and tar people you don't like. When you can easily point to someone you don't like as a pedophile, you take the...
You literally do this, Keffals. You are arguably known for doing this. When are you going to take accountability for that shit?
First opportunity. But when you see it around you, and it feels too complicated to call out because there might be ramifications for you, you're silent. For Ethan, Keemstar falsely accusing Tony Winchester of being a pedophile alongside what happened to YouTuber Etika convinced G Fuel to drop Keemstar as a sponsor. Yet in this situation, Ethan Klein is more than comfortable calling me, Tipster, and anyone who challenges his narrative a pedophile. Without a second
Which is wrong
on the
for him
topic
to do
of
that.
selective moral outrage, let's go back to talking about our favorite transgender video essayist for a second, Natalie Wynn. What Natalie is doing here to teach all the people in my audience who aren't trans a new word is being a pick-me, and it's far from the first time she's done this. A pick-me is a term used in the trans community to denote someone who acts as a token trans person in order to validate the opinions of cisgender people and to give them an...
I'm gonna let the video play out a
This term
tiny
is
bit
usually reserved
because
for
I've been
trans people
like,
Blair White,
it's
who
already
serve
like
to
it's already
validate
like almost an
conservative
hour long,
worldview
dude.
of trans people. Although ContraPoints often posits herself as far more radical than she
Or
is,
literally an
she's
hour, yeah.
basically the inverse of Blair White. She is the democratic wing of the popular trans YouTubers. If ContraPoints is truly consistent in her position that people who hurt children and those who defend them shouldn't have a platform, she shouldn't have allowed herself to be used as a public relations win by Hillary Clinton, who just this year was named on the Epstein list. It has long been known...
I don't even
that
need to say
Hillary
anything.
Clinton
It's
was
just
friends with Jeffrey
whataboutism.
Epstein, with his name appearing on the flight logs of the Lolita Express and eyewitness testimony confirming he had in fact visited Epstein Island on more than one occasion. And despite this,
It's
Natalie
like, what are
Wood
you
claims
even
her status as a
insinuating?
Popular trans YouTuber to launder her reputation. Natalie doesn't care about children. She cares about getting her dunks in and being
Like, find me where ContraPoints like defended Bill Clinton being on being friends with Epstein, or fucking Hillary being on the fucking flight log. Like,
the people she doesn't like. If you don't know who Jeffrey Epstein is, I would recommend checking out Jay Aubrey's most recent video, The Jeffrey Epstein Saga, A Network of Depravity, Part 1. The more I've learned about Jeffrey Epstein and everything that has gone on with him, the less faith I have in humanity as a whole. One last thing to address here. Ethan, I know you made fun of the comparison of child slave labor to the production of child pornography.
So we have this one here.
and we got more whataboutism.
According to Vaush, you decide no CP and no cobalt
Incoming!
versus CP and cobalt. Now, if you don't know what this is in reference to, this is a reference to a debate that Vaush was having where he was like talking about how bad, things like child slave labor. There's a lot of industries that we get products from where they are the product of child slave labor, unfortunately. And, a lot of you guys are buying these products not realizing that this is the case, right? You have products like, cell phones, iPhones and stuff like that have cobalt mined in them that was mined off the backs of slave labor, okay? You have situations like, maybe you buy chocolate, maybe you're a big fan of chocolate, and there are various different companies that use slave labor to, harvest the cocoa beans used to make the chocolate, etc. I can give you several examples of where this is the case. And so Vaush was using an analogy to kind of point out that there's a little bit of inconsistency here in terms of, like, people are okay with this type of child abuse, but they're not okay with this type of child abuse.
But I think the reason why this hits such a nerve is actually something much deeper, relating to Teddy Fresh, the luxury clothing brand owned by Yila.
Oh, this
They use
hits
your
deep.
platform as a vehicle for selling merchandise.
Get ready for this shit. Get ready for this, because this is the most schizophrenic fucking grasping at straws.
If you go to the
Ever.
ethics and sustainability section of their website, it says, at Teddy Fresh, it is essential that all our production partners pass stringent audits to ensure our facilities are abiding by and surpassing the global standards for ethical labor practices. These third-party auditors include RAP, SMETA, and Am4 BSCI, who certify there is no child labor or unfair labor practices. Now, on the surface, it seems fine, but let's take a deeper look, because nothing is as it seems. RAP stands for Worldwide Responsible Accredited Production, an organization based in Arlington, Virginia, whose stated aim is promoting safe, lawful, humane, and ethical manufacturing around the world. However, their work has been described by commentators as undermining local labor rights organizations, with some organizations in the early 2000s that advocated against sweatshops, describing RAP as an industry-driven effort to avoid scrutiny. A report by the Toronto-based Michaela Solidarity Network showed that RAP's board is dominated by industry representatives, has no provision for public disclosure of any problems found in factories, or even where factories are located, has a labor code similar to anti-union right-to-work legislation in some U.S. states, and only encourages manufacturers to apply self-imposed, environmentally conscious practices. Looking into this further, an article in The Nation written by Alex Dubrow on April 17, 2001 talks about the vice chairman of RAP, Otto Reich, unfortunate last name I know, and how RAP was a clothing industry front founded to undermine the growing anti-sweatshop movement. A cursory glance into another one of their auditors, Am4 BSCI, shows that they also have their share of controversy. In an article entitled Bribes, Fake Factories, and Forged Documents, the buccaneering consultants pervading China's factory audits by the South China Morning Post, they discuss how Chinese factories often bribe inspectors to gain accreditation for the industry platform Am4 BSCI, with some factories going as far as to forge fake identity documents for their child workers. The article goes on to discuss in depth the level of corruption that is taking place. A database of more than 5,000 audits conducted in China last year, shown to the Post by an industry whistleblower showed that more than 90% of factories audited by third-party auditors for the Amphori BSCI platforms were not transparent in their documentation and have falsified record-keeping for worker pay, working hours, and overtime, suggesting they pose a greater risk of cheating on inspections. Amphori BSCI did not respond to repeated requests for comment. With all this said, this isn't definitive proof that HettyFresh is made with child labor, but the evidence—
No, it doesn't! What is—
comment. With all this said, this isn't definitive proof that
Okay, I thought she said it was definitive. But yeah, like, it's like not definitive. It's not even like you're just— I don't know what even is the insinuation that, like, oh, because Teddy Fresh may or may not be involved in in having some of their materials used in their shirts produced by child slave labor, that like like this is somehow like this is why Ethan is going, like, shut the— this is so crazy. This is insane. Like, we don't know if whether or not Ethan is exploiting Chinese children in sweatshops. But we do know Vaush has fucking lolicon saved on his computer. We know that for sure.
Amphori BSCI did not respond to repeated requests for comment. With all this said, this isn't definitive proof.
This whole fucking shit, this whole fucking segment where she's like explaining the fucking, like, this is longer than her actually addressing what was on Vaush's computer.
Child labor. But the evidence suggests that the likelihood of this being true is high. And if it is,
the likelihood is high.
To make people just as disgusted with child sexual
we don't know
as they are with child sweatshop labor.
But it's high, guys.
His brand and his business. This could explain his hyperfixation on this.
You know what? Fair enough, because the possibility of Vaush being a pedophile is high.
Love you both. Stop being hypocrites. This video.
Stop being hypocrites. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? I didn't even notice that when I finished my first recording. Stop being hypocrites? Oh my god, the fucking cojones. Wait, no, she got her cojones removed. Never mind. But the fucking god, dude, are you kidding me? But yeah, that's so fucking retarded. Let me exit out. Jesus Christ, my GPU is so fucked. That's gonna be it for this video. I guess Vaush is like gearing up to make like an actual response to the controversy, not this flippant hand waving fucking lying weaseling fucking bullshit that he did before. But I look forward to it, and I look forward to shitting on it because I know at this point I'm fairly familiar with Vaush's personality. He's the kind of guy to not take accountability for fucking anything, so I eagerly await his fucking demise. Fuck this dude, fuck Vaush, and, you know, fuck Keffals for literally making this dog shit fucking video. Like, it's holy fuck. Yeah. Ash ready? Ready? Ash ready?